Your digital garden will grow over time, and you may have different sets of strategies to organize your notes. You may use folders, tags, links, etc. These efforts are meaningless if you cannot find your notes when you need them. Sure, you can search your notes with the default search UI. It's still very powerful. You can search through tags, file, path, or even content. However, I found it has some limitations. For example, it's really hard to compose complex searches, and you cannot save the search queries you compose so you can easily reuse them. Also, I heavily rely on MLC, and including new links each time I create a new note for indexing purposes was tiring me out. These limitations made me explore a way to search notes more efficiently. Thankfully, I found Dataview plugin, and Dataview plugin seems to offer all I wanted. Let's see the official website first. So essentially, Dataview plugin treats your Obsidian Vault as a database, and you can start querying from. With that, you can do more complex queries and save them in your notes for reusing again. Also, with the output of searches, we don't have to manually handle MLC links. Even though this plugin seems very beneficial, I thought people might struggle with this if they don't have enough technical backgrounds to understand this. So I will try to translate this to you that you can walk out confidently to use this tool for your digital garden after this video. So let's start from installing this plugin. I already installed it, but you can browse it in community plugins and install it and enable it, and you're good to go. But the more important thing is metadata. If you never heard about this term, metadata is simply information about your notes, such as tags, date. Let's say if you write a note about a book, you can add author, title of the book, published date, for example. Obsidian 1.4 allows you to compose this metadata with YAML format with even better UI. So in the past, people do like source and URL, type, book, like this. Now you can simply go to your right pane and say add property and click it, and I'll say tags and books and date and today. And in preview mode, you can see this metadata with great UI, or you can see the YAML format like this in your source mode. Even though you don't have any metadata to your notes now, Obsidian has some by default, such as file name, file paths, links, etc. So if you can't wrap your head around metadata right now, don't worry about it. Just keep moving. So next thing I want to show you is types of output. This plugin supports multiple types for its output, list, table, task, or calendar, and it has a great explanation about them in its official website. So let's check it out, and I will translate each of them to you. So the first thing is list. Here, list queries output a bullet point list as your search result, and table, on the other hand, outputs as a tabular view. So if you just want to see a simple view as your search output, list might be suitable. But if you want to see also metadata or properties altogether in your output, table might be better option for you. Task, if you ever use the GTD system, get things done system in Obsidian in place, this can be very useful because it can show all the tasks in your vault, and you can further filter down based on completion or any other status you have. And the last thing is calendar. I don't use calendar at all in Obsidian, but it seems like this plugin also supports calendar view as a result. So ask yourself, what is the most use cases that you encounter every day you're in your workflow, and think of it, what type might be suitable for you. For me, I prefer table to other types, as I can list the notes based on my search terms, and I can add more columns with my metadata I want to see. And I will briefly show how each type looks like in a moment with the query examples. Now we understand query types, we can jump into our main game, query. It can be daunting, especially if you're not familiar with the SQL before, but no worries, I will explain very easily so that you can understand, and I will give you some example queries you can apply to your vault today. So let's see the official documents again. And general form seems like query type, fields from source, and multiple data commands can be applied. So query type, we just talked about it, is basically output format. And what about the fields? Fields can be applicable if you choose table as your output. You can select which fields you want to see in your output. So it can be file name, paths, or any other metadata if you have. And from is the command that you can tell Dataview where to start their searches. So let's say from tag 1, this means you tell Dataview to start searching nodes containing tag 1. And the next one is data commands. We have multiple data commands, to name a few: filter, sort, group by. These commands can be used to narrow down the scope of your search or refine your search output. Now we understand what this formula means. We are ready to use them. Let's see a few examples you can apply today. Now let's get into real examples. List from templates means I want to see all the nodes stored in the template. So let's get rid of this one and say, oh, I see 3 different nodes in bullet points. But what if I want to see these nodes or the nodes that contains a books tag? Then what I can do is, as I did it before, like this. Then if I run it again, I see not only 3 template nodes, but all the other nodes that contains books tag. As you can see, you can make a complex search easily with this data view. The next one is table. It looks a little lengthy, but let me explain one by one. Usually the first column of table output is file. If you don't like that, you can skip it by saying without ID. Instead, I want to include the link as the first column so that I can still visit the node if I need to. And status in files created time and modified time. And I said I want to see the PKM as nodes, and I limit only 10 and sort based on the modified time. So if I say it, I have the link and status and created time and modified time. So as you can see, compared to this list output, I feel like I have more information about my nodes. That's why I prefer table to other types. The last thing I want to show you is how to query task. It's pretty simple. This example is saying I want to see all the tasks which are incompleted and sort based on the created time. since it includes some personal stuff, I will not run this, but you can try on your side. Again, if this plugin seems overwhelming to you, you don't have to have it, but I think it's worth trying if you want to see dynamic view based on your notes, and if you want to save some complex searches and run it whenever you need. I think it's worth trying. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.